What is going on, guys? It is Sam the Raid Man. As you guys I'm sure know, Hard Faction Wars is coming out soon. Currently we just have the regular Faction Wars with up to 945 stars. This is how you unlock Lydia. There will be a future part with a future reward, and I think because of this, it gave me an idea. I want to be building or showing you guys who are the best champions in each faction. So we're going to talk about the top 10 champions for Faction Wars, kind of just general best champions, but particularly for Faction Wars, and we'll kind of go into each of their kits and why I think they are good for that area. So this will be a 1 through 10. We'll start at 10, we'll go through 1. I did make sure to include 1 epic and 1 rare for every faction, just to give a little bit of variability. We are including mythical, so I don't want it to be like every mythical and then 5 void legendaries or whatever it is. I want to include a little bit of fluctuation, and I tried to include some different roles here, but in general, I think this is a pretty accurate top 10. Even if you disagree a little bit with the order, that's more subjective. If you want an amazing start in Raid Shadow Legends, make sure to use the link in the description of this video to get a free Elenaro and 3 epic champions as you level up throughout the game. I have 4 simple steps for you. Step 1, log out of Play and Play on your computer and uninstall it. If you are also on a mobile phone, you've never had Raid installed, it will work on the mobile phone as well. Step 2, click on the link in the description of this video and register to Plarium with a brand new email. Step 3, log into Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and collect your first free legendary champion, which should be Elenaro. You also get your 3 epics as you level up through the game. Make sure to use this link if you want a great start in Raid. So the rare I included was kind of forced in here, but if you do want a rare, Dagger is okay. AoE decreased defense, it is the big decreased defense. It only books to 75% chance, but with Sniper that can go to 80. It is on a 3-turn cooldown, so that's not bad. Single target decreased attack, small in general. If they're under decreased defense, like you've already placed, then it can be a big decreased attack. And then fills our Terminator on the A1. She's not amazing. But decreased defense is big, and if you need it in your team, which a lot of you might to clear waves, then she can be a help there. But she would be a stretch. There's definitely legendaries that I did not include that are better than her, but that's a rare option. Number 9, I have Baron. Baron has kind of fallen from grace, but he is one of the better damage dealers in the Bannerlord faction. The only issue with him is that's kind of all he does. Skypiercer is an amazing AoE that does a ton of damage. His A1, if you have him built well and you hit someone with low health, can one-shot everybody. So if you want to like speed run low-level faction wars, he is like definitely the way to do that. Obviously, Bannerlord's not open today, but he could definitely do a ton of damage. Next up, I have another epic, or a epic. I have Archmage Helmet from the Doom Tower. Archmage is a really good buffer. Increased speed, increased crit rate, increased crit damage for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. He's also one of the better controllers in the faction. AoE, as long as he's built with crit, will stun. After attacking, decreases the turn meters of enemies without stun. If you did not stun them, you decrease their turn meters. Fills that turn meter on his A1, especially if it's a crit. And then no one can reduce his turn meter. So he's good at keeping your team going fast, doing damage, and then stunning, controlling the enemy wave. Stun is by far the best form of crowd control. Next up, I have Sigmund the High Shield, one of the only legendaries I do not have, but Sigmund is another control champion. AoE provoke, attacks all enemies 2 times, each has a 50, books to 75% chance of provoke. With a double hitter, that's very good odds, and then 75 books to 100% chance placing decreased attack. So decreased attack is damage mitigation, provoke means he is soaking up the damage, and he is defense based. He also does an AoE shield on the team and strengthen on allies for 2 turns, removing buffs on his A1, and then 20% chance of decreasing buff duration when people hit him. So he is a very good Faction Wars champion. I wouldn't use him too much else outside of Faction Wars, but he's very good there. Next up, I actually have another epic, and this is a great epic. Ursala the Mourner is one of the best epic revivers, really one of the best revivers in the game, and you need revivers in Faction Wars because you need all 5 of your champions to survive. So she has a revives all dead eyes with 75% HP, then turn meter fill by 50%, and increase defense and strengthen on all allies for 3 turns on a 5-turn cooldown. That's a super good revive. AoE decreased attack also places increased attack on you on a 3-turn cooldown, and then chance of decreasing target share meter on the A1. Speed in Doom Tower, so that's not ideal, but a great AoE decreased attack and a great revive. She is perfect for Faction Wars. I would argue Faction Wars is her best area. All right, we're into the top 5. I think we're all legendaries and mythicals at this point, but I have Stoutus Dragonbane, one of my favorites. Killed Draco and took his head. He's an amazing damage dealer, but he's also defense based. He's got a AoE stun. Each hit books to a 65% chance, so really good chance at that on a 3-turn cooldown, so that's good control. Another AoE with good damage, also increased defense on himself. Can place decreased speed or decreased crit damage, and then stealing turn meter as A1. This is also good for bosses. Reflects any kind of poison, weaken, and decreased defense from himself. And then damage increased by 5% for each debuff on the target. So if he places a stun and then hits them with this ability, he'll do 5% more damage. Or if someone else places decreased defense and decreased attack, then he will do 10% more damage. Some honorable mentions that let me just pause real quick. He's top 5. We have 4 more. Some honorable mentions that I did not include would be Oathbound. I think he's solid. Stagnate is great. I just could not decide who to take out. Perhaps Baron or Dagger, obviously, but I think that those are the biggest snubs in terms of faction wars. Okay, number 4, I have the faction unity champion. It's going to be hard to not include any faction unity champion. I would argue that Aislinn is one of the worst, but he's still just so good when you have 4 faction allies, or 3 really, but you're going to have 4 anyways for faction wars. So he's got stun on the A1. 50% books to 75% chance. That's actually kind of a really good A1. This is a weird ability that I would almost never use, but basically you can remove shields to heal your team. But his A3 places shield, instantly activates his skill whenever an ally is revived. That's a really good pairing with the reviver. Block damage on this champion, ally protection on everyone, shield on everyone, and then cannot be removed if he's got 3 faction allies. His passive, allies under shield receive less damage. They're immune to control debuffs. Allies and ally protection have a chance of counterattacking when hit, and the value of all ally shield buffs is increased by 100%. So if you pair him with another shield champion or his own shields, they're increased by 100%. He gives you defense in all battles and HP percent in all battles. He's just going to keep you alive a ton. The only time that I would be worried about Aislinn is if a boss can steal your buffs. Then you could be in trouble, but some of his buffs are not removable, right? So this with the shield and ally protection cannot be removed. And that's all he's placing. So if anything else could be placed, like if someone else places increased defense, then he could steal that buff, but Aislinn will keep his buffs in particular protected. So I think he's a very good option. Next up, I have Marichka. I know no one's surprised. You could argue her higher. She's definitely great at keeping your team alive. The issue with her for faction wars is her passive is the only way she can revive people, and that's if she dies. So it's going to be difficult for her to revive people and you still finish the battle with all 5 people. So realistically, if you're using Marichka, you need her to stay alive. Granted, she still provides a ton of support. That's why she's in the top 3. Massive heal with shield and strengthen, full buff cleanse, full debuff cleanse, turn meter increase, and then if you clean up enough buffs, debuffs, then you get an extra turn. An ally attack with the A1. It's always Terrace if he's on the team. She is a great champion. She's also got a 24% in speed in all battles, aura, which is probably gonna be your best. Number 2, I have her partner in crime, Taras the Fierce, with the weird tattoo on his head. He's a great controller and probably the best damage dealer in the faction. I honestly wanted to put him at 1, but you'll see why. He's got a stun, he's got decreased attack on the A1, turn meter fill on the A1, this massive AoE that's like a seer thing if you pair him with buffers. He's super survivable and he decreases enemies' attacks as they attack him. Create in all battles by 20 aura. He's crazy. He's unbelievable. Honestly, if you have Taras, you could probably put 4 epics in there and be fine. I mean, obviously I don't know how hard faction wars will be, but for now. And then number 1, I have the mythical, it's Androck. Androck is a really good mythical. So his primary form is buffing, increased defense on all allies on the A1, increased buff duration, massive heal, increased resistance, strengthen, and continuous heal. Another continuous heal on all allies with less than 50% HP. And his passive is bonkers. Increases champion's resistance by 10 for each buff on each ally. That's okay, but critical hits inflicted by allies fill the turn meters of all allies by 5%. This is the crazy part, right? Because if you have 100% crit on 4 champions, all of them are just constantly filling everybody's turn meter. And you can go so fast. So I think that's his best form, but he's also got a debuffing form on the alternate form, decreased defense on the A1, AoE decreased resistance, weaken, and enfeeble. Enfeeble is a crazy debuff for waves just because they can't do anything to you basically. And then full buff strip, and then does a ton of damage for buff remove if they have buffs, and then block buffs, and then each critical hit decreases the turn meter of all allies. So this can be just as good of just keeping them from not going. So if you have Androck, you pretty much got faction wars on lock, maybe except for the bosses. So that's gonna be my top 10. Just to recap, we have the honorable mention for the dagger, or the rare is dagger. Baron is a damage dealer. Helmet is a buffer and debuffer for the enemies. Controller. Sigmund for controlling and buffing. Rosala for reviving and buffing. She also does decreased attack. Stultus for damage and crowd control with a stun. Aislinn for ally protection and shielding, keeping your team alive. Marichka for healing and debuff cleansing. Taras for damage and then True Fears. And then Androck for anything, basically. Turn meter fill, turn meter decrease for the enemies, buffing yourself or debuffing them. He's going to be amazing. So let me know if there's anybody you missed. We will be doing this for every single faction. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.